So that's our social responsibility to make sure that their goal is not being stopped at a certain point.
Women, especially moms, they have solutions for even big problems.
It was like my father told me there are 3 stages in life. One is learning, earning and giving.
So part 3 of the podcast is contribution to others and society. And my first question once again is for Sanjaya. Sanjaya, how can professionals integrate social responsibility into their careers, and what benefit does it bring in the long run to both the individuals and society as a whole?
To be honest, I use a lot of examples myself where in the beginning I told you that whatever you put to the universe is what you get back, right? So something that we have done through our platform is to contribute it to the dreams of the athletes. So that's our social responsibility to make sure that their goal is not being stopped at a certain point. That is one of the things. And then also the fact that we have so many autistic athletes in the country. There are special Olympics for them. We have Paralympics. So likewise, one of the goals that we have inherit in our organization is to represent a Sri Lankan athlete at the Special Olympics. So that is one of the long-term goals that we have. Whereas when it comes to social responsibility, something that we practice is the sustainability factor right now, because we have to save the planet for these people to exist. And in that way we quite implement that a lot in the events that we do currently, because we try to manage the waste, to using more eco-friendly methods to for the events that we are doing. Other than that, I think it will come back to you someday. Whatever you do good to the others, it will definitely come back. So for me, I believe that whatever the goal that I have in the long run, whatever I do right now, socially responsible to the people whom I'm delivering my product to, will come back to me someday.
Thank you. Do you want to add to that, Shivani?
I think I'll follow up with my second question.
Sure.
Because that has the
answer. Sure. So my next question is for you. What strategies can an individual employ to align their personal values and with meaningful contributions to their communities?
So I'll take this question and answer it genuinely from Miris' perspective, not as a person. So, my background is such, I faced gender inequity when I had to return back from my maternity break in the corporate world. So I was, when I started Miris, I only had this kind of, only desire for me in my heart was to support women who are in a similar situation as I was 6 years back. So what I thought, but I ensured that as a company value, as a business value, I should empower women who are single mothers, young mothers, widows, and breadwinners of family. So I divided my company social impact as internal and external. So internal are my staffs, and external becomes the social responsibility that I'll be working, which I still haven't started, but I have a plan for that as well. So the internal is what I'm right now working. So my vision was to include 60 to 70% of women who are mainly widows, single mothers, and young mothers. So as a part of that, I have recruited 2 laborers who are from that background, which I'm so happy and thankful to God that I was able to even get those kind of people who can support back. The reason I took them in, the reason I had that kind of desire in my heart was that those people were in my situation, they are in the situation who have faced a similar situation as me, and they will be always ready to support me back in my vision, because growing a small business to a medium to a large is a very big
process.
It's a process. So I thought this could be done only if I have that supportive labor staffs with me. So I thought if I support them back, they will also support me in return, And it's not just give and take policy, but genuinely I want to support them because they will be the internal ambassadors for Miris. When they go out to the community, they're going to tell that this is what Miris does. Yeah. So this is my story and this is why she's supporting us back. So right now I'm supporting as in I'm giving them the opportunity to work. At the meantime, I also learn from them because they also have like wonderful ideas because like women, especially moms, they have like solutions for even like big problems. So, I learn from them. There are so many things that I've adopted or probably implemented through their suggestions. So likewise, on the external side, I would really love to support women, like again, on the same category of single mothers and widows from North and East and South. Who love to have or probably to start a business on their own on a small or medium scale. So through mentorship or through monetarily or anything that I could, which I have not started yet, but that's my plan. So first thing I wanted to put my company internal goal right. I mean the internal social responsibility right, and then I will probably go out afterwards. So then I have a stronger base to, take it out and show it to the women entrepreneurs, the community out there. This is how we do business in Miris. So this is how I see it as the personal value. I mean the social responsibility embedded into your business value. So, yeah.
Thank you.
I hope that I made sense.
Yeah. And it's a great initiative.
Yeah.
Is there anything that y'all would like to add?
Covered it.
She covered it? And the final question for the podcast today is for Sujeev. Can you share examples of successful professionals who have made a positive impact in society through their work? It could be someone you know or someone you relate to, anybody. Yeah.
So I happened to meet my childhood hero 2 weeks ago in Jaffna. So he is a self-made billionaire from United States. He was a born Sri Lankan who lived in New York, investment banker, Mr. Raj Rajaratnam. Okay. So he was there, like I was lucky enough to be invited for this event by one of the people who was organizing it. So they said they are coming from California, please come join us as entrepreneurs. So when I went there, like his speech started and he was like, my father told me there are 3 stages in life. One is learning, earning and giving. He said, now I'm in the stage of giving. So he went through a lot of issues due to insider trading related court cases. Okay. And he was not guilty as well. So he released a book as well. So that book was launched in Jaffna in Tamil as well. So he was while speaking, he was telling, now it's my time of giving. He looked at the farmers and told, look, these guys are being ripped off by high interest rates. So he just gave $5 million to the farmers, 0% interest, help them out. And I'm going to build a big, he's going to build a big rice processing as well as storage facility so that the middleman doesn't really get any big profits out of it. So it was so nice to see such a person doing. So we got the chance to meet him for dinner. So during that time, one of my friend's wife was there. She was doing greeting cards, handmade stuff. And then she was just telling me, he spoke to me, he gave me funding. And he also has told, you don't need to return. If you like, you return after 3 years, 0%. But it's up to you, but we'll decide it later. First, you grow your business. Also, there were investors who came from the US. They, during the stage, announced, we'll give you 100 million rupees as investment. He just matched it.
No.
He's just giving it to the world. And I was so nice to see, because what we see in this world is more and more you get, they want to get even more. In that kind of an era, this kind of a person giving so much was very impressive. And after living in the US, coming back to Sri Lanka and trying to help Sri Lanka during this economic crisis period is something which we need to be very proud of. Then the second one I would like to talk about is about when I was working in my previous company, Nathan Sivaganathan as well as Sarindu Nambuye. They started this initiative to build cancer hospital in North as well as in South. So when they started, they said we are going to walk all the way from Devundara to Point Pindru. And they did the same from Point Pindru to Devundara. So first stretch, right after war, it was quite challenging, sensitive to raise funds to build something in north. So we were walking from all the way from Devundara to here. When we were passing Kalutara, there were fishermen. We thought, okay, there's going to be some issues. To see the fishermen who had their daily income, they were having inside their sarongs, they came and gave all the money to be contributed to the hospital. Likewise, when we were passing Kilinochi, there were children without legs, okay, everything. They have done lovely greeting cards saying, this is what we can give you all. But we appreciate your efforts. And people started tearing, okay. So we went and built the hospital there. Likewise, again from there to Karapeti is the second hospital we built. So it was done very nicely. So we were part of the organizing committee and we were lucky to be part of it, and every bit of it we enjoyed. And to see, I went to the Tilipala Cancer Hospital. It was almost the size of this, not even this. People were lying down on the ground, the heads were like this, plumped, and you know, it was very hard to see people urinating, this and that. But this hospital came and gave a big relief to them. And we were selling bricks at Odell. You know, you can put your name in the brick. We were selling so many different stuff, and it was a very, very proud moment for all of us to be part of it. And it was very nice to see these two gentlemen initiating those along with MAs as well. So those are things which inspired all of us. From our level, we do small things, whatever we can do. What we do is we help small businessmen just to buy some materials for them or anything. But these guys, the two examples I give, always it's in my mind. I always look up to them and see, okay, these guys are the real gurus who are actually doing some impact to this country, and they haven't left the country. They are still here, even though they could have gone to anywhere. Yeah.
That's great to hear. Are there any stories like that you all would like to share of individuals that you all could maybe?
Yeah, I do have, because the whole philanthropy idea came when I worked at Dilma. So that's Mr. Meril Fernando. He's one example who I always looked up to when it comes to, you know, all this social impact or so sustainable works that he have done or he have initiated at the time. So he's not anymore, but always, but the words that he have spoken out during every session is still in my heart. How he support the community, how he support the people without looking at the deviations within the people. He generously does it with his heart, full of love. And it's not for business sake, because I worked there. I worked under him. I'm so happy to say that I worked under him. He's one man who I can always look up to as an example in my life. And when I started Miris, I always had this heart. I must do Miris business as how Mr. MJF have done. So that's where it all like sparked in me. The patience, the level of love he shows for his work, for the tea itself. Oh my God, like he just the person who I can see the passion where it comes from. So that passion really drove me to like love my business also back, and you know, do what I'm doing right now with so much passion and love. So there's so much that I can learn from him, and I have nothing to say. Everyone knows what he has done to the country as well. So I'm happy to, you know, share about him today at this moment. You know, he's one good example I always want to.
Thanks. Sanjay, is there anyone you'd like to speak
No,
about?
these two stories are very inspiring. I've not worked in the corporate field in Sri Lanka, so I've not got that kind of experience. But it's very inspiring to see, like, you know, people actually giving back to what. So that is something, you know, I also have to like inherit in my business as well.
So thank you so much for joining us today. Just before we wrap up, I'd like to get maybe a sentence or two about today's session, what you all felt, if that's okay. So I'll start with Shivan.
I don't know. So from the time I came, I've been telling you guys, you know, this helped me to even evaluate my business, the whole session. It really helped because we hardly have time to sit and sometimes evaluate what we are doing and where we are. So this session helped me to really think of what Miris is actually doing today, and I'm happy that I could able to evaluate and bring this all out to the audience out there and share this today at this moment. And I'm so happy to meet these two new people, and you guys also, of course. Happy to have even connect with them. Thank you for this opportunity. Absolutely, having fun though.
Thanks for being here. Sujeev?
Yeah, first of all, I want to thank you and Denham for inviting us for this this whole session. And I would say this is the first time I'm being in front of a camera. I never thought
First of many after this, definitely.
So we have been doing lectures, but I thought I'll be very much scared of camera, but it was quite good. And it was nice meeting these two wonderful characters as well. And I think I learned a lot during this session as well. So keep going, please continue these sessions. It will be very valuable for everybody.
Thanks. And finally, Sanjay.
Yeah, so finally I want to thank you guys for having me in this program, because when actually Denham spoke to me, I was supposed to be in the last episode of the month, but fortunately I got to meet these two individuals through this program. Probably might have not happened if I was in the other program. So first, thank you very much for having me, and also it was very inspiring to hear their stories and also to put out what I have learned to the society again, and for people to really follow a path in sport. So I believe that someone would actually take a lesson out of it and then execute it in their lives as well. So, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us today. We'll be back with another episode of GEPic Journeys. If you enjoyed that video, make sure to like and subscribe to the GEP YouTube channel. And we also have a bunch of very interesting practical short courses which are related to the episodes from the podcast. So stay tuned.